Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. To my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support, and to my new audience, thank you for stopping by. So in today's tutorial, you want to learn how to cut and sew trending bubu gown with built-in collar. So this is the material that I'm going to use, and this is the one that I'm using for the collar. So the measurements you need is your shoulder measurement, your hip measurement, the wideness of the sleeve, and the full length measurement. So firstly, what you do is to draw a straight line that will demarcate your starting point, and this line represents my shoulder line. I'm cutting both my front and the back panel together. So this is the wax fabric that I am using, African print fabric, and I have folded this into two. So I will include my shoulder measurement, divided by 2, which is 8 inches. Then the length of the sleeve, how long I want the sleeve to be. I need the sleeve length to be 12 inches. So I will mark the 12 inches there. So in total, I have about 20 inches. So the next step is for me to mark my neck line. So I want to make use of 4 inches neck width and 1 inch neck bed for the back. So we are marking the back measurement first, since we are cutting both together. So I'll measure my 4 inches. That is my 4 inches. Then I'll come down by 1 inch for the back. Then I'll connect it. So that is my back neck width. Okay. So on this my shoulder line, where my sleeve is stopping, I will slope my shoulder with 1.5 inches. Then I will connect it to my neck width. Okay. So the next thing I will do now will be for me to mark the wideness of my sleeve. I want the sleeve wideness to be 12 inches. So from my shoulder slope, I'll come down by 12 inches. So I will measure the same measurement starting from here to here. I'll measure it here so that I can have a straight line. Then I'll connect with a straight line. So on that very line, on this line, I'm going to mark the same shoulder measurement there so that I can connect the points. Then I will join these points with these other points to have a straight line. Can you see that is my sleeve opening? Then I'm going to come in by 1 inch here. That is from this point, I'm going to come towards the center with 1 inch. Then I'm going to connect it to this my shoulder slope. It will help the sleeve to balance well. So this is the line that I'm going to cut. This point is not needed. So I'm going to shift my fabric now so that we can continue the measurements. So the next measurement will be for me to measure to my hip line. So from the shoulder, we'll measure to where I have my hip line. So measure from your shoulder to your hip line, whatever measurement you have, then you mark it down. The one I'm working with is 23 inches. So mark my 22 inches. Mark same on this other side. Since my table is not that long, so I'm starting from this point. This was my 13 inches. So I'm starting from that point. So the next thing is to connect the line to have a straight line. After the hip measurement, I'm going to mark the full length. So the full length I'm working with is 55. So I'll start from this, my 23 inches. So this is my 55 inches point. I'll mark same on this other point side. To connect my point to have a straight line. You see? So now I will shift it back so that we can concentrate with other measurements. Before cutting it out, I'm going to add half of an inch for the joining of the shoulder. Then I will connect to have a straight line. Then I will cut following my back, neck, not the front. So I'm going to cut it now, then we'll work on the front. So I'm going to notch my important point, notch, that is my folding, notch my hip line, notch the pocket. I will take off the back panel, then work on the front. Okay. So let's work on the neck line for the front now. I said it earlier that I want the neckline to be 8 inches. This is the 8 inches point that I mark earlier. So from that 8 inches point, I'm going to mark 2 inches. You can decide to mark more than that. The 2 inches is actually the design, the built-in collar, the design that runs to the hem line. So that is the 2 inches. So I will mark the 2 inches to the hem line. Then I'll connect it to have a straight line. Can you see? My point, it's stopping at my 8 inches. Remember, this is the front panel. So I will curve it this way to the neck width. This is my neck depth for the front. So I will curve it this way. Just draw slightly curved line and join it to this my neck. Let me see it. So I'm going to cut this part out. So this is my front piece. I'm going to use this and cut my lining. I'm going to use lining for this dress. So I have gone ahead to cut my lining using the fabric. So what I will do now will be for me to go to my sewing machine and join the lining with the main fabric. After that, I'll bring it for you to see and I'll tell you the next step. So I'm done joining my lining to the fabric. Can you see? I'm joined for the both front panel and my back panel. So the next thing now is for me to join the shoulders, the front and the back shoulder. I'll join them together. So I will place my fabric right side facing each other. So this is my back. Then I will carry my front and place on top of it. Then I'll make sure that I align my shoulder so that it matches. Then I'll pin it down. I will do same to the other side. So after pinning it down, I'll go ahead and join it. I'll go to my sewing machine and join it using the 0.5 inch that we added when we cut the fabric. So after joining it, I'll bring it and tell you the next step to do. So I have joined both shoulder. Can you see the both shoulders? Can you see? So the next thing I will do now will be for me to measure from my center back and notch my center back. So I will measure from this, my center back, where I notch. I'll measure it from here all the way to my hem line. So that is the measurement I'm using to cut the collar that will go through to the hem line. So let's do the measurements. That is 61.5. So I will cut 62. So I'm using this fabric. What I will do, I'm going to measure 6 inches. So now when I fold it this way, I will have 3 inches, which I'm going to use half of an inch to join it on each side. So when I join it on both sides, I'm using 1 inch to join it. And what will be left will be the 2 inches that we cut out from the front panel. Let me recap what I said. This fabric, I'm going to measure 6 inches. And the 6 inches, when I fold it this way, that's 6 divided by 2. It's going to give me 3 inches. Remember that we cut out 2 inches from the main fabric. That is on the front panel. So the 2 inches that we cut out, we are going to replace it using this black fabric. So the 3 inches here, when I minus 2 inches, I'll be left with 1 inch. And the 1 inch, I'm going to use half of an inch to join it to both sides. I'm going to open up my fabric and mark 6 inches. But if I fold my fabric, I would have marked 3 inches if the fabric was on 4. And I'm going to open it up and mark my 6 inches. I'll connect it with a straight line so that I can cut it out. Okay, so I'll use this other one to cut another one. Remember, we started from the center back and we measure it to the hemline. So the other side of the center back, that is what we are going to cut now. So I've cut the 2 strips of fabric. So I will go to my ironing board. I will iron interface on it. Then I will bring it and show you what next to do. So I have iron interfacing on my strip which I'm using for the collar, and this is 2 pieces as we said earlier. So what I'll do now will be for me to join these 2 pieces together so that it can form one long strip. So I'll go to my sewing machine. I will join this together, then I'll bring it for you to see. Then I'll tell you the next step. So I have joined the 2 strips together so that I have a one long strip. Can you see? So I will keep that aside, then go back to my main fabric. So coming to my main fabric, I will measure again from center back to where I have my front neck depth. Remember that my front neck depth was 8 inches. So I will measure from the back, the center back to where I have that 8 inches. Starting from the center back, to the point that I mark. I have about 13.25. So I will keep the main fabric. Then we work on the collar. I will measure that 18.25, starting from this my joining, because this joining will be my center bag. So I will measure 18.25 down. Measure here as well, so that I will hold a straight line. So starting from this part, I'm going to measure half of this strip. Remember, our strip was 6 inches divided by 2, that is 3. I will mark 3 all the way down. So this depends on the width of the collar that you need. If yours was not 3 inches, if you use 5 inches, that's to say you're going to mark half of 5, which is 2.5. If you get what I'm saying. I'm going to connect it using my straight ruler to form a straight line. My strip was not long enough for my fabric, so I had to join at the down part again. And if you can see fabric that is long enough, it's still good. So after measuring it this way, I will measure the full length of my bubu, so that from there I will determine where I want the slit to start. Slit to start from 43 inches. So I will measure my 43 inches. This is the point that I have my front neck there. And this is 8 inches for the front. But when I measure starting from my center back, it is 13.25. But when I measure from the shoulder, it is 8 inches. So starting from this, assuming that I measure from the shoulder, starting from this, my 8 inches front, I will measure my 43 inches. If you can see what I'm doing, this is my 43 inches. This is my 43 inches. So I will go to my sewing machine. I will run a straight stitch from this, my front neck there, this line. I will run a straight stitch following this straight line till I reach here, till I reach this 43 inches. After that, I'll bring it for you to see. I've run my stitch to that point. So the next step I will do now will be for me to fold it. I believe you can see what I'm doing. This is somehow the trickish part. Fold it this way. Can you see? Can you see this is the opening? I'll go to my ironing board. I will iron it this way and then this way. I'll bring it for you to see. So can you see? I have ironed it open. Can you see? This is where the slit stops and this is the remaining part. So I'll go ahead now and pin it to my main fabric. I will grab my main fabric. Can you see? I will make sure that this, my joining point, starts from my center back. So I will pin it all through to my hemline. Can you see where I have my neck width for the front? It has matches up here. So let's continue the pinning. So I'll go to my sewing machine. I'm going to use 1/2 inch to join it. I'll join the both sides. After that, I'll bring it and show you the next step. So I've joined the collar. Can you see? I've joined it all through to my hemline. Can you see the slits? This is the slit opening. So now I will go ahead and cut another black fabric for the design on the hand. So to cut that, I'm going to measure the hand, starting from this opening to this other opening. So what I have here is 24 inches, so I will cut about 25 inches, and the width of the design will be 2 inches, so that will be 25 by 2 inches. So I will cut for the both hand, then I will interface it. Okay, after that, I'll bring it for you to see. So I have ironed out the 2 strips of fabric for the hand. So the next thing will be for me to attach it to both hands. I'll just put it in for it to have a nice finishing. Just put it in, then I will stitch. I'll do the same for this other hand. Then I'll bring it for you to see. So I've finished joining the hand. Can you see? I've attached the design to the hand, both hands. So now what I'll do is for me to join my side seam, install my pocket, then I'll bring it for you to see. So this is the final outcome of our bubu gown with inbuilt collar. Can you see how beautiful it looks like? So thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe to our channel. Also turn on your notification bell so that when once I upload new sewing tutorial, you'll be the first to be notified. See you on our next tutorial. Bye bye.